Okay, so today is a really exciting day because we've just published an entirely new paper on the wonderful little marmalade hoverfly. So let me just tell you a little bit about this species. Marmalade hoverflies are really abundant and they're very beautiful, orangey and black, and they're very often seen in our gardens and in our parks right across Britain. And they're incredibly useful to humans. They're very beneficial pollinators and they naturally control pests such as aphids, which of course helps reduce crop damage. However, despite being only about a centimetre long, they undertake these huge migrations across Europe, southwards in the autumn, northwards in the spring, and while we don't know exactly how far these individuals migrate, we suspect that their migrations are longer than 1,000 kilometres. Now, my good friend Richard Massy has just published a study where he found that migratory hoverflies fly further but not faster than their non-migratory relatives, so they're marathon runners rather than sprinters. So what we did, I was one of these researchers along with Scarlett Weston, Doyle, Wotton and of course Richard Massy. We caught these migrating marmalade hoverflies in the Pyrenees, and we also caught non-migratory members of exactly the same species in Britain, down on the Penryn campus. Each hoverfly was tested on this special tether before being released completely unharmed so she could continue her life. The hoverflies could continue to fly while tethered, and we found that the migrating ones flew twice as far. Meanwhile, the hoverflies with the fat abdomens, showing that they were well fed, flew 5 times as far as the thin ones, suggesting that stored energy is really vital. And so, as we've mentioned, for these insects, migration is a marathon rather than a sprint. Flying faster is usually more energy efficient, but these hoverflies might throttle their speeds to a sustainable pace to minimise muscle wear and maintain their condition over long distances. And the importance of body condition, such as when we measured this by abdomen size, highlights the real need for food sources such as wildflowers along their migratory journey. If these resources are depleted through habitat loss and fragmentation, or perhaps their flowering periods are out of synchrony with the migratory movements, and this could be due to the climate crisis, then the consequences to the success of these marmalade hoverflies migrations could be really severe. And this reasoning could be something that explains some of the declines that we've recently seen in the number of these lovely little marmalade hoverflies. But luckily, these insects lay so many eggs, and so if we're giving them chance, for example planting more wildflowers or putting pressure on policymakers to make better habitat for these lovely little insects, then they can really bounce back very quickly. So I know it's winter now, but in a few months it'll be spring and the little marmalade hoverflies will be returning. And so if you see them in your gardens or out on a walk, then just realise that she might have travelled thousands of kilometres just to be there, eating the aphids, bringing the pollen along with her. Great little